Hi friends. So today we are going to see about the change in state of matter. So it is a very small topic in matter. So it is in chemistry. So let's start. Come on. So the physical properties of solids, liquids, and gases are mainly controlled by the interparticle attractive forces. So these are the diagrammatic representations of the solid, liquids, and the gases. So you can see them. So interparticle attractive forces mean nothing but. So you can see some circles which are the particles which we represent. So they are very closely packed in solid, but here they are little loose, but here they are very loosely. So this we call the attract. How they are attracting. So in solid they have strongest attraction, but in liquid very weak than solid, and gas very weak because they expand. So let's see about them. So solid have the least interparticle distance because they are very closely packed. So only we can see very small least distance. So it is very least closely packed. So least particle distance, and they have strongest interparticle attraction. So here you can see the particles are very closely packed, so they have very strongest interparticle attraction. Coming to liquid, they have the intermediate interparticle distance and slightly weak weaker interparticle attraction than solids. So if you see here, they have intermediate particle distance, because if you see in the solid we have only least spaces, but in gas we have more. So here only it is very less, so it is the intermediate distance. So here we have very less distance, so compared to we have more distance compared to solids, but very less distance compared to gas. So the force of attraction is very weak than solids because they do not attract, they flow everywhere. So next we come on to gas. So gases have large interparticle distance and weakest interparticle attraction, which means they have very large distance, which means they do not stay one place because they have more energy, so they expand there and there. So they have large interparticle distance, and they are very weakest interparticle attraction, which means they don't have the interparticle attraction between them, which is they are negligible because they have more energy, so they expand there and there, so they don't have attractive forces there. So this interparticle forces of attraction can be changed, because in solid we can say it is very tight, liquid very less, but in gas more. So this can be changed. So the solid can be changed by changing the temperature present on them. So see the table, so you can see it. So we can change solid into liquid, which is called melting. While we heat, it changes into liquid, and when we change liquid into gas, it is evaporation. And again, when we change gas into liquid, it is condensation. So again, it is liquid to solid, it's solidification. So these are, and then while we change solid to gas, which is while solid changes into gas, it passes the liquid state and they become gas. So solid to gas is sublimation, and gas to solid is deposition. So these are the interconversion of states of matter. So next, let's see the change in state, which is the law of so it is the law of conservation of mass. Let's go. So here's Lavoisier, the picture I showed. So Lavoisier proved that in combustion means the process of burning. Combustion reaction, substances burning in air. So substances which burn in air are is called combustion. So combustion, for example, we can say that hydrogen burn in air. So it is the oxygen present in the air that combines with the combustible material. So oxygen help them to burn. So the total mass of chemicals present before a chemical reaction remains unaltered after the chemical reaction. So this is called the law of conservation of mass. We simply tell, so you can see this picture. So we have here wood and then plus oxygen. So with the help of oxygen, it burns and we get ashes, carbon dioxide gas, and water vapor. So let's read it. Mass of wood and oxygen is equal to mass of ashes, carbon dioxide and water. You may have a doubt how it is same, like if you burn a wood or paper, we get less amount of ash. But even sometimes we may get smoke, but we don't capture it. So if you take in calculation, so wood plus oxygen while we burn, even if you capture the carbon dioxide gas and the water vapor, it is not able to capture them. But if you take them in calculation, it is same. So that they have told that the total mass of chemicals present before a chemical reaction, which is the wood and oxygen, remains unaltered, so it does not change even after the chemical reaction, because we get the same amount. This is the law of conservation of mass. So during this process, no detectable gain or loss in mass occurs in chemical reaction. So we not lose or gain anything in mass. The mass remains the same. So if we keep this reaction, suppose in a reaction, reactant A combines with reactant B to form product C and D. So we tell mathematically this law can be represented in the following. So like MA plus MB is equal to MC plus MD. M is nothing but mass. So where MA, MB, MC and MD are the masses of A, B, C and D respectively. So this we can see that here it goes a arrow mark. So this separates. So this is the left hand side, this is the reactant, and the right hand side is the product. So I have already discussed that mass of wood and oxygen is equal to mass of ashes, carbon dioxide and water. So this is an example. Even so, while we simply say the law of conservation of mass can also state that no detectable gain or loss in mass occurs in chemical reaction. Any changes do not occur, and even like the changes do not occur in mass. So another way we define law, so the conservation of mass is that mass is neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. That's all. Thank you. If you like the video, please do subscribe and share and click on the bell button. Thank you.